THC-infused drinks are gaining in popularity. You'll see them in a lot of places in advertisement like crazy. So we're learning more about them today with our 9 News medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli. We're going to talk about THC drinks and where we might get them. In the CBD drinks, like I see those in grocery stores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and they're portrayed as a nice alternative and makes you relax. But what is a THC drink?
Yeah, so THC is the component of marijuana that's psychoactive. That's the one that makes you get the high. So if you think of a cannabis plant, you get marijuana from it that has a high THC concentration. You also get hemp from it that has a low THC concentration. So you can, in fact, find these THC-infused drinks, and these are seltzers or waters or mocktails or those types of drinks that are infused with THC just over the counter in gas stations, and sometimes you'll find them next to an energy drink. But the key here is they have to come from the hemp, which has less than a 0.3% concentration of THC. If they come from marijuana, then you'll only find them in like a dispensary.
So I have a lot of friends that swear by these, and you know, you're I'm sure you're going to tell me different, but they say that it's helping them get off their glass of wine, if that makes sense. It helps them relax at the end of the day, especially if they have little ones, and helps them sleep. Mm-hmm. Is this a good idea to replace alcohol with something else? What would you say?
I would say yes and no at the same time. So yes, it is a good idea to get you off of alcohol, but eventually you want to get off the THC drink as well, because we do not have long-term data. So let's talk about the advantages of THC drinks over alcohol. So first advantage, that it doesn't have a hangover effect. So you drink it, you don't have the dehydration, you don't have the headache, you don't have all of those things that you get the very next day with alcohol. Second, it doesn't affect your liver because it's not quite processed in the same way. And third, you can actually microdose with the THC drinks by taking smaller doses as opposed to alcohol. And finally, a lot less calories usually in these drinks than we have in the alcoholic drinks that can come with the sugar. But the downside here is that people have unpredictable responses to THC, very different from alcohol, where we can tell how most people will respond. So the dose response is unpredictable. It takes a lot longer than alcohol to kick in. So it takes about 10 to 30 minutes. So people are used to seeing the effect within a few minutes with alcohol, and you might end up overdosing. If you're using a THC drink instead to get that same kind of buzz, you keep drinking it, and then it doesn't kick in for much later.
And then it hits you. That's dangerous. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you talk about this, I know you're not a fan of alcohol, and we've seen all these studies now, stay away from alcohol. You really want to stick to no alcohol at all. If you were to do this, then you do a very small amount and just try it. And it doesn't have the effect like be the opposite. Like some people, Benadryl helps them fall asleep. Benadryl for me wakes me up.
So it does have that effect in some people. And so this is the problem. So it binds to these receptors in our brain called the cannabinoid receptors, and they're involved in memory and perception and mood. So in the short term, for most people, what you'll feel is relaxed, euphoric, like you just took...
Euphoric?
You just did...
What's the milligrams for euphoria?
Yeah, what is that?
So you feel happy, right, for most people. But some people will have a paradoxical reaction, just like with Benadryl. And it depends on your underlying genetics, really, which is why it's important to start with a really small dose where they actually get agitated. And if you go to a higher dose, almost everyone will have that agitation reaction, both in the short term, but also in the long term. In the long term, it can also affect your memory, especially in adolescence, your ability to form new memories. It can affect your mood. It can make you sort of amotivational, and it can cause more anxiety and paranoia in the long term. So if you're going to start, and you can start if you want to wean off the alcohol. Again, don't start drinking this if you're not using alcohol, but you start with a really tiny dose, and that's a 1 to 2.5 milligrams. Now, be careful to look at the bottle because some of them go up to 100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you want to be really, really careful that you're starting with a very small dose. You want to eat something like a snack, usually like some protein-packed snack, like a peanut butter toast or avocado toast or something like that, about 30 to 60 minutes beforehand. Because if you're too full, it's bad. If you're too empty stomach, it's not good for you either. You want to drink it and wait a full hour for the effects to kick in before you drink anything else. And sometimes mixing CBD and THC drinks together is better because it lowers the dose of THC. And no alcohol mixing. So you don't want that plus the alcohol.
I like Dr. Kohli's
then she gets the emergency call in the middle of the night. Okay.
But that's a good guide, Dr. Kohli. Thank you.
Yes, and so I mean, it's okay to try it. It's okay. Don't let your kids try it. And that's the other piece of it. Because it sits next to the energy drinks, next to the seltzers. It comes in really exotic flavors, and we just want to make sure, because we don't have any long-term data. It's of course legal here in our state. It's federally legal in every other state. So it's getting popular. So your kids may ask you about it, the more informed you are, the better. If you're going to drink it, make sure you throw the can away somewhere that they don't see it.
Smart.
Yeah, I saw a long news report on this, and that's why I said I got to ask you about
Yeah.
it. People were really raving. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you can find much more from Dr. Coley at 9news.com/Dr. Coley.